Ladies and gentlemen, what you're going to see now is basically India's first demonstration of an anti-collision device called Kavach on the outskirts of Hyderabad on the Vikarabad route. What you're seeing is two trains coming against each other, two engines coming at full speed against each other on the same track, one from the Guliguda side, other from the Vikarabad side, and then both of them will kind of come head on to each other. And what we will see is that at some point in time, both the trains will stop because of the anti-collision device. So they're coming on. You can see one of the engines coming at full speed. In one of the engines is the railway board members and the chairman. On the other side, in the other engine, is the Union Railway Minister Ashwini Vaishnav. So the sirens have gone off. You can see the engines coming at full speed now there. And that engine will now come straight away. You can see it comes straight into the direction of the other engine. Now both will come at each other. The demo will now happen. The engine is stopped to proceed at full speed. The other engine is stopped at the next station. So both will now proceed at full speed against each other. In the absence of the Kavach device, which is an anti-collision device like the TCAS that you have in the airline system, you will see the engines would have collided head-on, as we see in many accidents that happen across the country. But in this case, what happens is that the Kavach device, which works through a connectivity of satellite and RFID, stops the engines automatically, even without the intervention of the driver. This signal system is already introduced in about 1600 kilometers in the South Central Railway network and across the country in high-density corridors. So what you're seeing now is the engines coming at full speed. From their side, you can see that. You can see that it's coming there. And as it moves, as the engine moves at full speed, there's another engine coming from the other side, also coming at full speed, and both are on the same track. Now the RFID will stop both the engines automatically. The driver doesn't have to do anything. I will later provide you with a drone shot of it. But you can see that the engine is now waiting to take off in full speed. And on the other side is the next engine that will proceed from the other side in full speed. And in about a couple of minutes time, both these engines will come to a dead stop. And that is the beauty of this device, Kavach, which seeks to prevent collision between trains on the same track, even from the front and from the back. So it can be a rear-ended collision or a front-end collision. Both can be stopped by this device. It's a RFID tagged. Every 1 kilometer on this railway track, you will see an RFID device connected, and that is connected to a satellite system and then onto a very complex system of electronics in various stations en route. They call it block stations. And then that device basically prevents these trains from crashing into each other. Ladies and gentlemen, this is on the outskirts of Hyderabad, about 60 kilometers from Hyderabad. This demo is being held since this track is now a certified Kavach device track. So what we'll see now is the engine waiting to move on the instruction from the other side, and both will come at approximately 100 kilometers speed of each other and then come to a dead stop within, I think, a few 100 meters from each other. That is what is going to happen. Let's wait for the engines to move. The entire press corps is here from all over the country. The media is in full strength. There is also a drone shot happening, which I will share with you after this telecast is over. So with the drone shot that is being shown inside the area where we're sitting, the drone is capturing the movement of both the engines from both the sides. So waiting for the train from the other end to start. And the moment we hear the sirens go off, we are sure that both these engines can move. So please bear with me as this happens, as we need to ensure that we see a moment in history happening in Indian Railways, where for the first time a demonstration is being held to show that two locomotives proceeding at full speed on the same railway track head-on will stop within a few hundred meters of each other. and that one in one of the trains is a Union Railway Minister, in one of the engines rather, he is the Union Railway Minister Ashwini Vaishnav, who, as you're aware, is also the Communications and IT Minister. He is an IIT alumnus, an IAS officer retired, and a Wharton MBA. And he is a hands-on person, and naturally, that is why he is in one of the engines to demonstrate his confidence in the product that we see here. And on the other end that we see towards the other side is the engine where the railway board chairman is present, and he will be in the other train, other engine which is being piloted towards the Hyderabad side, one coming away from the Hyderabad side, the drone that is now capturing the visuals that you'll see. And definitely there's a huge expectation here. There is huge presence of national media, and even I saw some international media out here, because this system, if implemented across the Indian Railways network, will possibly stop all accidents. Okay, here comes that engine from the other side. I can hear the horn of the engine. Now we'll hear the sirens go off here from both sides. Okay, waiting. It is like waiting for a game to start on both sides. There are all cameramen from different news channels all on the railway track, waiting for the moment in history to happen, as India's first anti-collision device on a locomotive, Indian railway locomotive, is being demonstrated. If you all remember, there's a similar system in the airlines called TACS. There's a avoidance I'll call it. It's kind of avoids a collision system, and it prevents aircraft from coming close to each other. And the TACS system actually is working very well. Okay, the drone is now showing. There's a train coming from the other direction, and there's an engine in the opposite direction. You can see that the train is coming from one side, and it is being shown on the drone, but we can see it shortly here when it comes on the railway track. And on the other side is the engine. So technically, if this TACS system is, this particular Kavach was not available, these trains would have crashed into each other, resulting in loss of lives and property. Okay, the siren has gone off, which means the train is coming. There it is. The train is coming. Now it picks up speed. Let us see how the train is automatically stopped. The driver is no longer in control. The train is automatically stopped. It has detected that there is an engine ahead, and it has stopped the train. Okay, let's see now. The train picks up speed. Again, the train is trying to start. The train has been stopped. Now the loco pilot will have to move it automatically so that the train can move a bit ahead. Otherwise, the train has been stopped literally in its tracks. And the engine on the other side, the locomotive. So there is a detection on these railway tracks. The RFID has detected that there is a collision possible. It also prevents the drivers from jumping signals. So previously there were cases where the drivers jumped signals or overshot speeds on bridges. And the engine is now, the locomotive, the train is again moving. This is a normal train that was actually traveling, and the Union Railway Minister Ashwini Vaishnav is in the cabin in the front, in the locomotive. And it has automatically been disabled, the engine. And now the driver has to assume control of it, because the train has been stopped by the Kavach device, and now they will have to get off the train now, because unless this Kavach device is now disabled and that engine moves back, this train cannot proceed, even though the signal is given. You can see that the signal is given, but the train has been stopped in its tracks. So that, ladies and gentlemen, was a demonstration within just 100 meters of each other, approximately 150 to 200 meters of each other. Both these trains have stopped. The Kavach device has disabled the engine. It has stopped the engine driver from proceeding ahead, and a successful demonstration of how the Kavach anti-collision train device works. And now the Union Railway Minister Ashwini Vaishnav is actually walking towards the place where we all are sitting right now. He will address a media conference. He will take questions about how this device works. And since he is an IIT alumni, I don't think he would have much of difficulty in handling the technical questions which we saw coming fast. And but what happens if both the trains are not facing each other? What happens if one train is rear-ended and the other train is following it? In both these cases also, I believe, and we were told by the Chief Signal Inspector, that the train would be stopped in its tracks. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you see those drones flying up there. They have captured every moment of it. I can share those videos later in the day when we get the feed from the South Central Railway Media Department. But this is a train that has been stopped. It's the locomotive testing the efficacy of Kavach, and we will shortly see Ashwini Vaishnav coming on from the train and talking to us as this. There he is getting off the train. The engine, the locomotive. So, thank you for bearing with me for all this time, and definitely this is a moment in history. I mean, this is not over yet. So this is the RFID tag that you're seeing, which is there. These two RFID tags that you see here are the ones that actually capture the train signals and which locomotive has moved. And there is a unit, electronic unit from this, which enables a driver today, just like what you see in the aircraft, like a radar movement. The driver can spot as to where, which train is he up to, facing up to. And definitely, I mean, I say he or she, because there are also lady locomotive drivers these days. And there's a huge media contingent, as expected, which is trying to capture the moment when Ashwini Vaishnav speaks to the media. Come on, there's a huge crowd. You can see it's written as Kavach enabled. The train, the engine, the locomotive engine is written with Kavach. I don't think so. You can see him much.
Ask me this.
Kavach device enabled on this train, on this locomotive, which is stopped in its tracks rightfully due to the interlocking system and the RFID tag. It has been stopped, and of course, once it's enabled, it will again resume its journey. So that's what you see on the engine, the locomotive that is now stopped. And the other engine is on the other side, which you can see. And Ashwini Vaishnav giving his customary photographs, other things for the media, and I think we'll all move on. Thank you for staying with me. This was a demonstration of India's first demonstration of the anti-collision device Kavach on the South Central Railway network between Vikarabad and Sikandrabad, Lingampalli stations. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.